to 500. But the early games, the Railers usually have difficulty with, so we'll see how things go tonight. As the Railers have the opening tip, it's going to be saved and then almost knocked out of bounds. But a good job by Gesner tracking it down, and the Railers will go right to left as we start things here on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, Coach always talks about whoever wants to play the most in these early morning games is the one who usually comes out on top.
Railers down in the corner. Nice look down for Christian, but it's knocked away from behind by Matt Yeck.
A first possession turnover for the Railers.
They dump it inside, try to get it down to Grant cutting down the lane, and his pass is tipped away. So the Railers on back-to-back turnovers will start the contest over with Gesner on top now to Van Hook. Cook with a spin, goes one way, then back the other. Back now to Van Hook.
Rochester playing straight man. Look for Van Hook to be able to get some good looks.
Yeah, we saw that man last time against Rochester, and they're very physical if you try to drive.
Austin spot up three off to the right. Rebound tipped by a block, but into the hands of Matt Yeck once again.
Yeah, Yeck's a six-footer guarding Van Hook. Van Hook ought to be able to score.
The pass from Houston trying to get it to Ferguson is tipped away, and another steal by the Railers. Block is going to come in, pull up three. A little too strong. Rebound. There's that Yeck guy again.
Yeah, three possessions, one turnover, and 2 threes. Not the way you want to start for the Railers. You got to get something going to the hoop.
So Rochester with their first look at an offensive set here on this Saturday morning. Last conference game for the Railers here down at Glenwood. Of course, they've got Highland later on this evening. 6:30 start. Inside to Ferguson. Back out to Grant. Holden Houston.
Rochester playing at 30 feet, Jeff, kind of like the Railers did last night against the Titans.
Yeah, they'll be really patient. They lost their best shooter in Seth McMahon, who's out over there on the sideline. So they will struggle to find ways to score if the Railers will play the defense.
Jumper, top of the key, three. That's no good from Yeck. Ball tipped around. Railers come out of there with the rebound.
All right, Railers, let's take the ball to the basket this time, or get the ball down the low block of Van Hook.
Kirby, high post to block, looking one way, down to Christian. They try to get it to him. Christian goes down, ball's lost out of bounds, and they just got their feet tangled up. I think Christian was looking for some contact. No call, but it's just going to be another turnover. And, I don't think it'll be as physical as what we saw last night against Glenwood, but Rochester, they do like to play up close defensively.
Yeah, they play very similar defense to Chatham. They're going to hold and scrap and claw as much as they can, and that's really one of the things that have been the MO against the Railers is we have a tough time playing against that.
Yeck on the left side is going to drive in, cut off by block. On top to Houston in the lane. Kicks it over to Ferguson. His little jumper just outside the lane is up and good, and Rochester's on the board. 5:20 to go in our first quarter. We thank you for joining us on 96.3 FM, WLCNonline.com. Gesner pulls up 17-footer, and we are tied.
Yeah, Jordan has shot that kind of shot well all year. About a 3-dribble pull-up with his left hand and pulls up from about just over the free throw line and sinks it.
On the right wing, Grant. Swinging around, Ferguson fakes the three down in the corner. Now swinging around back on the perimeter. Yeck drives in the lane. Pull up from 14 is up and good.
Yeah, pretty easy for Rochester. Just dribbled basically right to the middle, right to the free throw line against our top 3 guys in the zone, and got an easy free throw line jumper. That's too easy against the defense.
Max drives down, kicks it over to Christian, out to Austin. Austin's going to drive in the lane, kick it out to block. Open three, that looks good. It rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound down to Ferguson. Rochester looking to extend their 2-point advantage at the 4.5 mark.
Both teams lethargic here, Jeff. Not much going on in either direction.
Houston drives the lane, tries to go up against Christian, has it knocked away into the hands of block, and a timeout's going to be taken by Coach Neil Alexander. 4:15 to go, 4-2 the lead for Rochester. It's just a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here, guys. We always talk about whether it's the Railer tournament, Collinsville, this one here. It's those early morning games that, boy, sometimes it's just tough going.
I think it wasn't it last year when we were down at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, to Taylorville. Yeah,
and
Coach
they were
took
out
out all
taking
starters.
pictures. Yeah, they were out taking pictures
Right.
on the scoreboard.
We talked about that, and it is tough. It's tough to get going, especially after you have a late night game last night. The drive home was a little slower because of the road conditions and stuff like that, and it's a late night, early morning. But again, one thing you got to do is just lace them up and go play. It's the same thing for Rochester. They got an early morning too, and I think Coach puts it really well. Whoever wants to play the most at this time of day usually comes out on top.
So after the timeout, starters still on the floor for the Railers. Gesner, Kirby, Cook, Block, Now Edward Bolby is checked in. He replaces Christian Van Hook. Kirby one way, the other, behind the back dribble. Cook curls around, down the lane. Tried to get a shot off. Instead, he was cut off nicely by Houston. Block. Kicks back Austin. That's a long three. It's on the way. Spins in and out. Ball hits the floor, picked up by Yeck. He must have 3 or 4 rebounds already for Rochester.
5 Railer shots, 4 of them threes. None of them are real particularly good three.
3:30 to go. Ferguson over to Grant. Houston cuts down the lane, kicks it back out. Driving, and we've got an offensive foul. Is going to be, nope, they're going to say a blocking foul as Nick Sicaro drove the baseline. And a foul is going to be whistled on Gavin Block. And guys, we've seen that all year, that Gavin has been one of the most reliable railers and being willing to step in there and take a charge. That time the official said he got there a little bit late, and Gavin will pick up his first.
Yeah, he was a little late, just a step late, maybe even just a half step. He's got to get there a little quicker. He was kind of on the move as he got hit.
Tipped away, Cook. Can he track it down in the backcourt? No, Yeck will outrace him to it. We've seen Max get some easy layups on plays just like that throughout the season, but that time Yeck tracked it down before Cook could get there. 3:09 to go in the first quarter. Railers down 4-2. Inside ball's lost out of bounds. It's going to go back to the Railers.
3rd turnover by the Rockets. And, yeah, Max Cook's really been playing well the last couple of weeks, Jeff. Starting to come into his own, the sophomore, learning what he needs to know to be successful at this level.
Cook on the right wing to Gesner. Jordan looks to make a move against Zach Grant. Bolby curls around to Gesner. Now to Bolby, over to Block. Podbelsic in the contest for the Railers. Max pulls up a little jumper from 17. That rolls off, no good. Fight for the rebound. Ball loose. Coming out of there with it is Podbelsic. Block goes up, and he was going to take the shot. Instead, kicked it out to Bolby, and a foul was called, so the Railers will have it on out of bounds underneath.
Yeah, good job by the Railers, staying aggressive on the boards. Rochester actually had the rebound, but the scrappy Railers scrapped it away, and were able to get it back.
Gesner inbounds it to Cook, gets it right back, and Gesner hits for 3.
So it's Gesner 5, Rochester 4.
Boy, Van Hook's been on the bench for about 3 minutes now. Railers seem to be finding some offense without him.
Over in the corner to Zach Grant. Bolby and Podbelsic come around, and he's going to be whistled for traveling. Grant looking at the official for a travel call. Not going to come. And guys, we certainly know if there's a pass that goes up and it's headed toward Grant, we know he's going to come down with it with his wide receiver skills.
And he's guarding Gesner right now, basically a box and one, man. They're playing man, but a really tight man, and he may have the best athlete in the conference on him.
Nice back door from Cook, who bounces it to Pod, who lays it up and in. Nice backdoor cut, and the Railers are up 7-4. Houston into the front court. Sicaro. Nice hustle by Gesner as he tips it out of bounds. On the near sideline, Olsen will check in, replacing Cook.
Railers doing a pretty good job playing Rochester very physically here to start the game.
Yeah, they've matched the intensity of Rochester. They're going to bring it in, and if Gesner is going to stay hot here, he's going to have a really good game against, if not one of the better defenders in the league, but one of the best athletes.
Well, Josh, we saw him down in Rochester. He was on Christian down there, and basically Christian was non-existent.
Yeah, he's strong. He's physical. He's very athletic. He can win in an all-state wide receiver.
On the out-of-bounds, Ferguson will inbound to Yeck just inside the three-point line. Bounces off the rim. Bolby tracks it down. Now it's lost out of Ferguson for Rochester. Houston fakes one way, goes the other. Little push-off against Olsen. No call. Grant back on top to Houston. Kicks it over to Yeck. Looks to go baseline, and that foul is going to be whistled on Bolby.
Ooh.
I'm going to say the block, but Tom, I think the look you and I and Josh all had is you could see the offensive player forearm right into Bolby's chest.
Yep.
First on Edward. 1:21 to go here in the first quarter. Railers up 7-4. And then a pass is thrown out of bounds by Dakota Greer. And he passed it to where he thought his teammate was going to be, and his teammate never got there, so another turnover by the Rockets.
Good job by the Railers, too. A very aggressive trap, but the nice thing I like to see is when you're in a trap, just shadow the ball. Don't reach and hack, and that's exactly what the Railers did.
Railers have not taken advantage of the 6 Rochester turnovers.
Nice pass from Bolby. Gavin couldn't hang on to it as he spun around, but it was knocked out of bounds. Nice defense by the Rockets, with Bolby with a nice pass to the high post to the low block and to get it to Gavin.
Yeah, very, very good play, and Gavin's got to hang on. That should be 2 points.
Gesner comes around a screen, trying to get free from Grant. Railers work it around the perimeter. Podbelsik's going to pull up from 15. It's on the way. Back rim, no good. Rebound, and I think we're going to have a rebounding foul going the other way. It's going to go against the Railers, and I think they get that one on. Got that one on Gavin Block.
Yeah, that's 2 on Gavin.
So do you see Christian come back in with Gavin getting his second?
Yep.
50 seconds to go. Railers 7-4 lead. Not much scoring here in the latter stages of the first quarter.
And Van Hook reports to the scorers table. One of the winning lottery numbers tonight, Jeff.
I was going to pick DePaul to win this weekend, so you may not want to go with my numbers. Grant, high arcing three, in and out. Rebound, Yek tries to get it away, but Gesner comes out of the way. 30 seconds to go. Railers with the ball.
Railers a hole for one here. You have to believe.
Yeah, especially with the lead here, and Gavin's got to be careful too. 2 fouls on Gavin, and he can't get anything silly here.
Podbelsic mishandles it. Bowlby tracks it down. Edward tried to save it in, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. Bowlby tried to save it. They're getting closer, guys. I'm jumping behind TJ. So Christian will check back in. Block checks out.
Third turnover in a sloppy first quarter on both teams.
13 seconds to go. Railers up 7-4. Grant's going to be hounded by Gesner in the backcourt. We're down to 7 seconds. Looking to make a move. Yek down to 3. Are they going to get a shot off? Grant's going to force it up over Olsen. It's on the way. It's no good. That's the end of the first quarter. Railers with a 7-4 advantage. We'll be back here to Glenwood High School in 60 seconds. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.